Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Earth and Sky's September full moon broadcast. So we have a beautiful full moon coming up on Tuesday. We're right in the middle of this harvest season. We talked last Sunday about how we went from Lammas, and now we just entered today actually into Mabon, and then next will be the third of the harvest festivities, Samhain. And so it's really an exciting time, my favorite time of the year. Well, fall and winter are both my favorite times of the year, but this is a great time for harvest. And so what better name for this moon than the harvest moon? This moon is also known as the corn moon. It is, there's that saying people talk about, if the corn is knee-high by the 4th of July, then you know the crops will yield well. Well, now they're much taller than that, and they're ready to be harvested. The barley is really ready for being harvested as well. It's time to harvest and thresh that beautiful ripened barley. So some of the Native American tribes would call it the barley moon. There are a few different names because there are many different tribes, and so the tribes didn't all agree together on what the moon name would be. It depends on the climate in their area. Was it a southern tribe, Midwest? Were they up in the north? Were they out west? Were they out east? All of those factors would change the name of the moon. A lot of the main names that we've been focusing on this year have been from the Algonquin tribe, but we have talked about several different names. There's actually a beautiful saying for this moon from the Lakota Sioux Native Americans. They would call this when plums are scarlet. Kind of a pretty definition. The Omaha Native Americans would say the moon when the deer would paw the earth. The Sioux Native Americans would call this the moon when the calves grow their hair, because winter is coming, and so we have that chill that's almost a bit to start in the air. At least in the evenings we're starting to feel that bit of fresh crispness of the fall. As we get closer to winter dawning in the next couple of months, we'll start to feel that little bit of a chill. If you haven't already, please like our Facebook page. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. And I hope you've been enjoying this journey that we've been doing this year. We've talked about the moons of this year. Many of the moons almost all of the moons, 11 of them, are named for the month that they're in. So whatever month they're in, that determines what the moon name is. And this is the one moon that is not contingent on the month. Whatever moon happens to be full closest to the autumnal equinox, which is actually today, which we broadcast all the details about last week, whichever moon is closest to that day is the harvest moon. So sometimes that will land in October, often it lands in September, but they do that because it's a wonderful way to have that full moon light as people are out there harvesting those beautiful crops. So it's our only moon that can fall in between various months. The harvest moon really is wonderful because it provides the most light as the people are out harvesting the crops, working the fields, tending. We had those 3 different harvest festivities, the times of the harvest, each of them bringing in different types of crops, but this is one of those last of the year, because as we finish harvesting outside, we turn towards finishing things inside, whether it's canning or taking care of how to preserve all of those wonderful, bountiful harvests to get through the winter. Especially when you're in the older times. Now we have refrigerators, which makes it a little bit easier. But having the harvest moon provide such light is really wonderful. If you can imagine being back, maybe 100 years ago, and knowing that the harvest is coming, you know when the autumnal equinox is, and you're able to chart and see where the full moon is about to rise, and you are working hard day and night because you need to get all of that harvesting in time before it gets too cold out. So sometimes you're working a little bit later. The days are starting to get shorter. The nights are getting a little bit longer. So having that full moon closest to the harvest time is really, really important to be able to get all of those chores done. This beautiful moon truly bestows her blessings as she shines brightly for those working hard all through the night. Additionally, on evenings around its full phase, usually the moon in many of the months actually rises about 50 minutes later than the newer and the other phases of the moon. But the shallowly sloping evening ecliptic at the equinox causes the harvest moon to actually rise about the same time of night. It's about 10 minutes delayed compared to the other phases of the moon at this time of year. So it's almost as though the farmers are blessed a little bit more in being able to work in the evening under that bright moonlight. It's just amazing when you look at nature how it has these wonderful ways of working together in just the right way that we need it to. In those lazier days of summer, the light hangs around a little longer in the air, but as the moonlight, as the days tend to shrink and that moonlight rises a little sooner during that transition, it can truly help. So Lammas was August 1st. Mabon is September 21st to 24th, depending on the year. This year it's the 23rd. And then Samhain will be October 31st. Often that's celebrated as the New Year, depending on what your schedule is and what your belief system is. So this really is a wonderful moon in our modern society to go and have a moonlit picnic. Get creative with how you want to bring the moonlight into your life. If you live near a large body of water, go visit it under the moonlight. Look at your reflection in the water and think about what you are cultivating this season. What are you harvesting in your life? What are you wanting to bring into your life? What have you been cultivating through the whole year as we went from planning to planting to growing and now harvesting? This is an exciting time of year. What are you bringing into your life? So think back to the goals that you made at Samhain last year, or maybe you set your goals at New Year's. Wherever you set those goals, think about, are you on track? Are you on the track of what you want in your life? What do you need to do to get back on track? If you've maybe forgotten some of your goals and you haven't been really paying attention and on the right track with them, what do you need to do to pull yourself back on track so you can harvest what you want really in your life? What are you harvesting in your life? Whether it's something you are consciously choosing or something you're not consciously choosing, we're always harvesting in life. So what are you bringing into your life? Is it what you want that you're bringing in? And where do you watch your mind? Where do you mind your mind? Where is your mind? Because that is what's really drawing consciousness into you. That's where you're bringing in, that's where you're harvesting, is where your thoughts are. Are you stuck in negative thinking, blaming others, anger, jealousy, or resentment? What do you need to do to let go of that negativity if you're flowing in some of those paths? What do you need to release in order to let those blessings all flow into you? This moon is really brimming with its beauty and blessings, and it's just up to you to let her light shine into your life. This is truly a great time to peek into that gratitude box. If you've been doing the gratitude box, we talked about that last year quite a bit, having a box that every day you think of something great that happened that day. It may be something wonderful, might be just something little, something that made you smile, but writing that down and throwing that into a box every day, this is the time of year to start peeking in it and seeing what things you've had to be grateful for throughout the year. You might be surprised at some of the events that you've forgotten about that had made you smile. Our lives are full of so many things every day. It's nice to take time to reflect and look back. A gratitude box is really one of the best things that you can do for yourself to create the environment in your life where you can start to really yield what you want to harvest. Because what you focus on in life is what you increase. So when you create a gratitude box, you're creating a focusing tool to really train your mind on what you're focusing on so you can then create that life of your dreams and you can live up to your fullest potential, remembering and focusing on the positive and drawing that in. Anytime you start to feel down a little bit, you can reach right back into that gratitude box and remember a day where something special happened, something made you smile. Maybe it was someone in your life, or maybe it was something that you did. But all of those things are so important to really treasure and pay attention to and make mention of to yourself. And so speaking of some of these celestial events, it's not just the moon phase that we have in our life. There's some other exciting things going on as well. So October 8th is I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Draconids meteor shower. This is a meteor shower that produces about 10 meteors per hour on average. It's produced by the dust grains that are left behind from a comet that was discovered in early 1900. The Draconids is an unusual shower because it's actually best viewing it early in the evening, whereas most meteor showers are best viewed early in the morning. So if you're a late night person, this is a really good one for you to go out and see. And so this one, it actually runs October 6th to October 10th, but October 8th is going to be when it decides to peak. And the nice thing with that is we actually have a new moon on October 7th, so the moonlight is not going to get in the way of this beautiful meteor shower that's pouring in. So this is another event that could be really wonderful to enjoy with friends or enjoy it with someone special to you. Drive out into the country away from the lights and just take it in. Take in being in the present moment and take in that new moon energy. New moon energy is where we plant the seeds for our life. It's where you start to decide what you want for the next lunar cycle. And so think about your intentions. Maybe talk with the people that you're out there with about what you want in life, what makes you happy, what you want more of in your life, and just enjoy watching those beautiful meteors zipping by. This month is so full of so many positive astrological aspects, so utilize it. September 23rd, the sun enters Libra, which is the peace sign. This is all about balance and equality, and what better time for that to happen than when it's right on Mabon, when we're talking in the world of nature about equality. And it's a time to remember that all of us are one, all of us are equal with each other. Remembering this helps you to shift into life with peace, and it helps your life to flow with greater ease as well. Then on September 25th, so Tuesday, we have that beautiful full moon, and it's a full moon in Aries. So the full moon is actually also square Saturn, and the sun and the moon are both cardinal signs, and then Saturn is also in a cardinal sign, which is Capricorn. So what would that mean for your life? Whatever you do, keep going. Don't get stuck. If you start to feel like there's a resistance, break through it. Have that perseverance, have that persistence. Draw up your determination, draw up your courage within yourself, because everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And fear is simply false evidence that appears to be real. So clear it out. Remember that the full moon is the time to release, clear, and let go. So all of these energies are working together for you to clear out, let go of, release whatever you don't want, so you can bring in the full abundance and the full bounty of your harvest. So clear out the old, run with joy as you bring in your harvest, and with a clear conscience, with love, with joy, and with intent, decide what it is that you want in your life, and enjoy this harvest time. Enjoy sharing it with family, enjoy sharing it with friends, and really take this time to have some events where you open yourself up to people that you love, and open yourself up to new experiences, as well as cultivating the harvest and preparing for the winter months that will come ahead, but also enjoying that we're in that in-between time. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. So what can you do in your life that can be really great, that can be just exactly what you want? Maybe think about writing it down, maybe even add that into your gratitude box, and then see as those miracles start to manifest and happen within your life. I hope you've been enjoying our series on all of the moon phases this year, and we look forward to seeing you here again next week. Have a great week, everyone.